Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday and welcome to the Early Edge. We are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. My name is Nejad, and ladies and gentlemen, of course, it's Friday. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk college football. We've got soccer, NBA, you name it. We've got it on the Early Edge. But I regret to inform you that our recap screen, not so great. On Monday, we swept the football picks. On Thursday, we get swept. 0-5 is not where you want to be. 0-4 with the football picks, and we lose the singular NBA pick. We got to move on, and we got to get better on a Friday. We did have 3 winning recap screens in a row, but 0-5 is just not acceptable. So I'll tell you what. How about we make it up to you, Pogo Picks, Steven Cleveland Clown is in here, Philip Terrasas, Brad Morris, and everybody else that's in here and has already hit the like button. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BPE Friday. Wow, what is even happening? We got Danny Brasco. We got the Nutcracker, I think. We've got Mikey B. We've got Buckets, apparently in the freezing cold. But ladies and gentlemen, everyone's been waiting for it. They wait for it all week. Chip Patterson, can you hit us up with the Chip Me Up?
Good morning, see you. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Teddy. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Early Edge fam. And just like the best Christmas song is Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, all I want for Christmas is winners. We got college football playoff. We got a loaded day of college hoops on Saturday. I've got best bets for the playoff, including Friday night and Saturday. But if you got questions, throw them in the chat. Because if it's a college football game between here and the end of the whole daggum season, you know I got thoughts, you know I got leans, you know I got an edge and analysis. So let's go!
You know it's going to be a good show when you hear at least one daggum from Chip Patterson early in the morning. Big Rody says, good morning, everybody. And it was somebody in the chat, I think it was Ryan Buckets, who said, hey, man, it's not that cold out here. Buckets, what's going on with the gear?
Yeah, I wish this was a fun, winter cosplay. I wanted to dress up in my Christmas best here. It is currently 22 degrees in Columbus, and the feels-like temperature is 0 degrees. And your boy has no heat in his apartment at all. I have ordered a space heater. It should be here by Sunday, but for the time being, this is how I'm going to be for the next couple days. See ya. That's all right, though.
I'm not even sure that's you. It sounds like you. I'm pretty sure it's you. I'll tell you what, in a second, I'll let you give out a pick and we'll definitely find out if it's you or not. Danny Brasco, do we have UFC this weekend or did you come with some NFL picks?
NFL picks. UFC is on a 6-week hiatus before it comes on over to Paramount Plus.
Right here.
To our house. So we're waiting for that until the next UFC card in the new year. But until then, I got Saturday football pick and a Sunday football pick for us. See ya. I'm still asking myself how that is a 2-point conversion. Think about it in the spirit of the rule that you can't advance a fumble offensively. Oh, but you can ricochet and pinball one that's like a loose ball and then recover it. I just think that's ridiculous that should be ruled a 2-point conversion.
I totally agree. What you brought up about advancing a fumble, near the goal line or in the last 2 minutes of the game, whatever that rule is, it doesn't seem like that should be a thing. And also, I don't know that it was conclusive that it was a lateral. I'm just saying, it did kind of look like it went backwards. I don't know that you could say on replay that was conclusive. If you have any comments about that game, put them in the chat, put them in the YouTube comments. Mikey B, we're about to get to Bucket's pick, but I got to ask you, no smoke machine, but we got the glasses. What does that mean for your picks today, you think?
We've only got 5 NBA games today. We got a lot of guys questionable, some back-to-back sets. I'm hoping not to deliver any coal in the stockings today. And I just want to say, Buckets, they have these things with 4 walls. They're kind of shaped like a box. They're called retail stores, and you go there and you give them money, and they give you things like heaters if you need them. So just consideration. They have these things. They're called stores, retail stores.
Or Buckets, you could go to Jack Petro's house. He says, Buckets, drive to Morgantown, West Virginia. Go ahead and put that in Google Maps or what have you. And he says, I've got heat and ham. And I got to say, heat and ham is all you're going to need.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That sounds like an 80s wrestling tag team.
Jack, I live closer to Morgantown than Buckets, and I haven't gotten the invite yet. Kind of rude. Buckets, I don't know if you're on your way to Jack's house, but before you go, can you give us a soccer pick?
I could absolutely do that, Sia. There are only 3 things I want for Christmas. I want heat, I want ham, and I want Inter Milan to score 2 damn goals against Bologna this afternoon in the Supercoppa Italiana. Yesterday, we watched Napoli upset AC Milan, which means no Milan derby in the final, but we've still got an Inter Milan side that has not 1, not 2, but 3 of the best goal scorers in all of Serie A right now. Lautaro Martinez leads the Golden Boot race, and in third in the Golden Boot race, you have Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and you also got Marcus Thuram. This Inter Milan team is absolutely beating the balls off of, that's not an expression, I'm cold, guys, bear with me, beating up their opponents right now, as long as it's not in Champions League play. They didn't look good against Liverpool, but they beat a strong Como side 4-0. They beat Venezia 5-1 in the Coppa Italia. They beat Genoa, not a great side, but still beat them 2-1. And Bologna just hasn't been consistent enough for me to really give them the flowers they deserve, and this is a team that tends to struggle in cup competitions like this. I think Inter are the better side, and Inter's manager has made it very clear that they do not plan on rotating in this fixture. Give me Inter over 1.5 team total at -125. I think this game clears the over easily. I'm looking at for those of you that like betting the score line, Aaron Bailey, I'm looking at a 2-1 for Inter, or maybe even a 3-1 for Inter. I really like what this Inter Milan side is doing right now.
All right, we've got ham, we've got bologna, we've got Inter over 1.5 team total, -125. Too easy, Chip Patterson. Chip, I want to get to your college football picks, and obviously we're going to have we already have questions in the chat regarding all sports. Hello, Big Cheesy. Hello, Mark Buckholtz. Don't forget, Mark Buckholtz and his wife brought Evan into the world just 2 days ago, or maybe 3 days ago now. Yeah. On a late Monday night. So a big congratulations, everybody in the chat that didn't know that. Wish Mark and his family a big congratulations there. Chip, before we get to your college football picks, so I don't make a lot of college football picks, and I'll be honest with you, I was so focused on the NFL that I didn't look at this game, but I see it 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, let's go Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Well, so let me give you my pick first, because I do these college football shows on CBS Sports Network with Chip. You're not on that because you're so busy with Cover 3. Everybody make sure you're locked into the Cover 3 podcast, but I do it with Emery, Tom, and Mike. And one of the few things I've been right about is this Western Michigan team, and they're laying 3.5. I don't know if it's 3 in some places. I like Western Michigan, and I look at what they did against Miami of Ohio. I like them in that game. A lot of people were on Miami. I like what they've done at the end of the season. I look at Kennesaw State and the teams that they've beat and the teams that they've gone to the wire with, and I'm not really that impressed. It's a little 11 o'clock game. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to kind of lay out the groundwork for why I think Western Michigan's going to win this game.
Well, first of all, it's an amazing game. Considering the time and the location, you're going to be like, oh, are these just a couple nobodies? No, these are championship winners. These are the best of the best in the MAC and the best of the best in CUSA. And in CUSA, there was definitely a dividing line where if you weren't Kennesaw, if you weren't Jack State, if you weren't Western Kentucky, you kind of drop off a cliff after that top 3, and you were right about Western Michigan in the MAC. One of the great stories in terms of rough start, really played their best football in the second half of the season. Not just in terms of the wins and losses, but the quality of the football really improved throughout the year. Mm-hmm. But here's what I need to tell you. And this is something that, we need to make sure to let you know, because
it's going to be windy. And is that what's happening?
It's going to be windy. Let's go. Myrtle Beach. We're talking about 17-mile-an-hour crosswinds with gusts up to 28 miles an hour. I was checking out the wind map, coast to South Carolina, coast to North Carolina, really starting to whip up through there. That's going to impact our throwing. That's going to impact our field goals. That is going to lead to conditions which could suppress the scoring. So I see our friend here is already identified that 47.5. I like that under. I don't hate a first half under at 23.5. Mm-hmm. Lots of different ways to approach this. Backing up your squad with Western Michigan, I don't hate. I think that if you want to jump on Kennesaw based on the idea that you just think it's going to be a close competitive game between 2 championship caliber teams, and you're like, give me the points, then yeah, I understand that. Kennesaw's got a quarterback named Amari Odom, who, when it gets to the end of the game, they're just going to put the ball in his hands. He's a great athlete, dual threat player. He made the plays to win the game against Jack State in kind of a thriller back and forth in that CUSA title game. So back in your side, I would say I'd rather have it at 3 than 3.5.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, my best bets are conditions related, where you're already thinking. I mean, it's like the early tip in MSG, right? Like Big East tournament, very first game, first half under, right? You know, it's going to take a little bit. So as somebody who's struggled through some rough mornings in Myrtle Beach before, I was always going to look at the under. But when I saw that win condition, I was jumping on those first halves and full games.
I'll say this. We're going to table your college football picks just for a second. Mikey B, I'm actually going to have you go next because, Chip, I'm very much looking forward to your thoughts on Alabama and Miami. You have thoughts on both of those games. And, of course, Bama plays tonight, right, Chip? Yep. I mean, that's just a gigantic game. I'll say this about the total. Like, when Western Michigan gets going downhill with their running game, like, they can put up points, even though they'll be running the ball. With that said, they also are prone. And I've watched so many of these games because a lot of this conference, a lot of it was in the middle of the week. I got a chance to really dial in on a lot of these teams. They often get off to slow starts. And especially because they're going to try to establish the running game. I think it was Gipper's picks who said he liked the first quarter under, Chip. I like the first half under.
First
maybe
half
a little
under
bit
23.5.
Yeah.
Maybe feels like a good number.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better than the total because I could see Western Michigan really getting established in the second half. So first half under and Western Michigan, I'm pretty much going to be in on it. It's 11 o'clock game. I mean, I almost want to make that official as much as I've talked about it. I'll tell you what, let's go to Mikey B. We're going to, again, Chip, we're going to table your picks. We'll get to Bama and Miami in just a bit. Mikey B, talk to me about your NBA plays.
Thank you for not making me go after one of Chip's soliloquies. I appreciate it. See ya.
Right.
So we're going to do a player prop for Tyrese Maxey over 26.5 points at -122. He's missed the last 2 games with an illness, but he's all cleared for this game. Prior to that, he had scored at least 28 points in 4 of his last 5 games for the season, averaging 32.2 points and shooting just under 49% from the field on the road. 2 times he played the Knicks last season, 30 and 33 points. Joel Embiid is listed as questionable tonight. This is the front end of a back-to-back set for the 76ers. He is not going to play one of the 2 games. We're just not sure which. If he doesn't play, this over becomes even more appealing. If he does, I still think Maxey can at least approach 30 points. And then we're going to go Spurs-Hawks. Dylan Harper over 14.5 points at -114. Following his strong performance in the NBA Cup championship game, he had 24 points against the Wizards last night. He only played 23 minutes, but he shot 9 for 13 from the field. Again, second game of a back-to-back set, this time for the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama is still coming back from that calf injury. He did play last night. He only played 17 minutes. I'd be very surprised if he plays in this game. If he does, he's probably not playing any more best-case scenario than 25 minutes. So I think Harper gets a lot of minutes, a lot of shot attempts against a Hawks team that plays at the 5th fastest pace in the league. So I like him to go over 14.5 points.
How about a couple of NBA? We got a lot of NBA in here, a lot of questions in general. Let me get 2 out of the way, maybe 3 here. Liddy wants to know, Mikey B, do we like Brunson over 2.5 3-pointers at -105?
Yeah, I would lean over on that. The Knicks kind of sat a bunch of guys last night. Injuries, quote unquote, first game back from the NBA Cup championship game in Vegas. And also first game of back-to-back set. So there might have been some resting shenanigans being done there. Brunson played, hit the game winner against the Pacers. I think he plays tonight. I'd be surprised if they sat him, so I would lean over there.
All right, Jay Long says Jaylen Brown over 36.5 points and rebounds, Mikey B.
Jay Long, I was looking really, really hard at Jaylen Brown over 29.5 points. He scored at least 30 points in a bunch of his last few games. I may play it later. I would lean over on that 36.5 points and rebounds. His usage rate is off the charts, and he has a great matchup against the Heat. Doesn't look like Tyler Hero's probably going to play again, so the Heat are probably going to be shorthanded. Oh, guess what? Second game of a back-to-back set for them, too. So it's kind of weird. Could see some weird lineups from the Heat.
Very interesting. All right. Let's go to one more question before we get to questions later on in the show. Buckets, Andrew Stanek says, Buckets, I think I saw Dortmund, Gladbach, both teams to score +2.5 around -120. Any thoughts on that? Oh,
Hi,
Buckets.
Hi, it is me. Just had to prove that because some people in the chat were doubting it. I really like this bet a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of people that really rely on head-to-head history and maybe a bit too much when they're looking at matchups. But if you look at the head-to-head history between these two teams, Dortmund has won their last 14 straight against Gladbach. The last time Dortmund dropped points to Gladbach was in 2014, before some of us were even born. So I really like Dortmund to win this game, but I do like goals because if you look at the last 3 matches specifically when they played, 3-2 Dortmund. I'm gonna look at the wrong sheet. 1 second, sorry.
It's okay, Buckets.
Yes, I'm got my stuff messed up. I like it a lot. I think it's a great shout, and I'll be tailing you on that.
I don't know why you had to make the old joke to me and Chip. I thought that was a little rude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we've got so many more picks to get to. Hopefully everybody's hit the like button. You're gonna like these BetMGM boosts that you can use today, tomorrow. Boost the playoffs this weekend. BetMGM account holders will receive a college football playoff odds boost. Score extra winnings if your college football playoff bet wins. And we've got another one here, courtesy of BetMGM. BetMGM players will also get a pro football odds boost, parlay boost, and an SGP boost this weekend. If your bet wins, you will receive extra winnings and unrestricted bonus dollars. We've got a couple of SportsLine picks before we get to Danny Brasco's plays. Of course, we got to get to Chip's plays. We got to get to my play.
Let's go, Todd. Let's go, Todd.
Yeah, Carolina Hurricanes. Todd just kissing up to Chip Patterson. Carolina Hurricanes money line -122. Again, that courtesy of Todd Furman and, of course, endorsed by Chip Patterson. College basketball, we go to UC Irvine -1.5, -105. And that one is from Bruce Marshall. Buckets, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I misspoke. I apologize. Dortmund at home has not dropped points since 2014, and their last 4 games at home have seen 5 goals, 6 goals, 7 goals, and 6 goals across those 4 games for the last 2 seasons. So that's why I like goals in this one. My apologies.
All right. Apology accepted. We got to go to a quick break. We got to answer a lot of your questions. But Danny Brasco, you're up next with some NFL plays for this Saturday. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we are in the season. We've got NFL Saturday along with all the college football Saturday as well. It's going to be a great day, and we're going to get to it right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
We're back on the early edge. It's Chip, it's Buckets, it's Mikey B, and it's Danny Brasco. Danny, we've got 2 games on Saturday. You've got a prop for Saturday, and you've got a prop for your guy, Jackson Dart, on Sunday.
Let's go, see. Yeah, a couple NFL props. Got to get going. Oh, my goodness. My under got torched last night. Beat the line by a couple points. And then, 38-37 classic TNF thriller. So that's how she goes sometimes. Let's go back to props. That's what I've been doing most well with in this NFL season. So Saturday prop, look, I've been giving the Bears a lot of grief this season. I've called them fortunate and lucky. I've talked about the metrics showing that, without the turnovers, this team would be, much worse off. They've gotten lucky in a lot of spots. Well, it's time for me to bear down and give Chicago some love. I know Ben will like this one because they have another matchup with the Packers here, and I'm not picking a side in this game. I think it's going to be a tight one. Micah Parsons out, but I'm going with DeAndre Swift to go over his rushing yards total. 52.5 is a solid number. It's a number that he's over in 9 of 13 games this season. And he went over this against the Packers a couple weeks ago. He had 13 carries for 63 yards. He's gotten 13 plus carries in 10 games. And that's important because he's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. So that's what the math that we need to get there. But really, it's this Ben Johnson offense. I mean, he's so persistent with the run game. He was going to pound the rock, no matter if it doesn't work in the first quarter, second quarter. He's going to mix in Monungai. But I think we still get our DeAndre Swift work. It's Monungai kind of in between the tackles. And then Swift breaks off a nice chunk yardage run to the edges. So I like Swift still the RB1 to go over 52.5 rushing yards. And all of a sudden, this Packers defense is middle of the pack. Without Micah Parsons, I wonder if they're going to be able to stop Ben Johnson's run game. They're 14th in rush defense DVOA. You think of this Packers defense as, really vaunted, but I don't know if they can hold up. And if they have some issues now, some injuries, I think the Bears might be able to really contest them in this game and really behind that run game. So Swift and Monungai, I think, are solid plays. Next, guys, I'm going to my boy, Jackson Dart to go over 30.5 rushing yards. This is also a really good number. He's over this in 6 of 11 games this season. And I think a lot of the talk will be about, well, after, he sustained that concussion, Mike Kafka has got to protect him. He's not going to draw up design runs. It doesn't matter. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, these are guys that have unconscious minds. They're not thinking they feel that pain is a choice and they don't feel anything. They're going to run. You can't stop them from just playing on instinct. And I think that's what he's going to do against the Minnesota Vikings and Brian Flores blitz heavy defense. We know they always get great pressure. Jackson Dart's going to be forced to take off in this game. And I think that he's going to easily clear this number. He's done so, by a large margin. A lot of games that he has gone over 50 plus rushing yards. So if you do like this play and you think he will be on the run a lot, maybe look at a ladder option to 50 plus. I like him to go over 30 and a half. See it.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup with the Vikings and the Giants. Also, the Packers and the Bears. A lot of people pointing out that the show picture had Caleb Williams. Ben, if you want to drop in and give out your take on how that Packers-Bears game is going to go, of course, you have the opportunity to do that. All right, where are we going to next? We got to go back to college football. Chip Patterson, we got some huge games this weekend. It all kicks off tonight as far as the college football playoff is concerned. Hit us with a couple of picks, my friend.
Yeah, we'll start Friday night with a little Alabama at Oklahoma. Hard to beat a team twice. Hard to beat a team 3 times in 2 seasons. That's what Oklahoma and Brent Venables are trying to do against Kalen DeBoer's Alabama Crimson Tide. But you know what? I think they could. I think they could. But they're not going to be ready for those first 30 minutes. They're not going to be ready for those first 15 plays. Alabama is a first-half team. Kalen DeBoer does such a good job of being able to get Ty Simpson ready, being able to hit some early scores. I mean, shoot, all you have to do is think about the fact that did Alabama, finally get something going there at the Auburn game? Yeah, they were up 17-6 and then almost blew it down the stretch. You go even to the first game against Georgia, not the second, the first game against Georgia. They didn't score a point in the second half, but they were dialed in for that first half. And so as they think about having to go up against Brent Venables' defense, I do think that Alabama's going to have a good start. I think we're going to have a couple shot plays, a couple explosives. I think that what you've got here is a win or draw buckets. We got ourselves a double chance. At halftime, we need Alabama tied or we need Alabama winning, and that is the best way for us to be able to cash there. So Alabama in the first half plus a half a point. And if you really want to treasure map this thing, I mean, we're talking all the way to go find the real gold. If you want to tag this with an Oklahoma full game and just go for the full ride, I don't hate it, because we are going to be talking about an Alabama team that has blown leads and that has crumbled at the end of games, and an Oklahoma team that will be playing at home and will have everybody behind them. So also, John Mateer, a little bit more mobile than Ty Simpson. So if it comes down to which quarterback can just scramble for those 7 yards, I do like Mateer there. So I'll go Crimson Tide in the first half as my very best bet. Then on into Saturday with one of my favorite bets of the college football playoff first round. That is Miami team total over 22.5. See, one of the great, mysteries about Texas A&M was how good really is this defense? Because Texas A&M, one of the reasons why they did not make the SEC championship game is they played one of the easiest SEC schedules of all the teams that were contending for the SEC title, of all the teams that finished with a 7-1 conference record. So look, Texas A&M, I hear you. 11-1 season. That is awesome. You should celebrate that. I love the way that your offense is built. It's just the fact that your defense ranks 13th out of 16 SEC teams and 58th nationally. That's not elite in rushing defense. How about the fact that when it comes to explosive runs, only Mississippi State and Arkansas gave up more runs of 10-plus yards than Texas A&M's defense? I'm just telling you, the Aggies' D is a little bit leaky. And I don't know whether it's going to be Malachi Toney and Carson Beck, and I don't know whether it's going to be that run game, but Miami's offense was good coming down the stretch. As long as Carson Beck doesn't turn the football over, they should clear this easily. I don't hate Miami plus 3.5. I've got Miami as my predicted winner, but the one thing that I would be the most surprised about is if this Texas A&M defense, which when it went up against good offenses, really struggled to be able to choke them out. I just don't think Miami's going to get choked out in this game. So I love team total over 22.5 for the Canes. Again, drop all the college football questions, whether it's bowl games today. I know we got a Memphis NC State question out there that we already talked a little bit about. Myrtle Beach Bowl, anything tomorrow as well. I got thoughts. Be sure to get them in the chat.
I'm so curious to see how this Miami Texas A&M game runs out, because there's so many strong opinions on both sides. And so I lean to Texas A&M, but this is coming from a place where I'm not as dialed in as you are, Chip Patterson. Nutcracker is judging Chip's picks, says Jed. Jed also liked Olamide Zaccheaus over 28.5 receiving yards, which I like as well. It was something I was actually looking at yesterday. I think that's a really sharp look as usual from Jed. Chip, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the Texas A&M game, the reason why there's so many strong opinions is because it's the one game where you feel like the matchup is not different weight classes. You feel like you can dig in on an opinion, right? I mean, for example, the national championship game, by the time it gets here and we're in Miami and it's January 19th, 1 month from now, like everyone's going to be so dug in on what side they're on, and it could be anything, So I think this is Miami, Texas A&M has a chance to be a really, really good game. And so I think that's why we've got strong opinions, because it's really hard for you to dig your flag in on like Ducks minus 21.5, bet the mortgage on it. That's just that those aren't positions anyone's going to feel the best about on this slate.
Well, real quick reaction to this, because I think the big argument, or one of the big sort of generic arguments against Miami, is they play in the ACC. I mean, you talk about weight classes. Texas A&M has just had such a tougher run out than Miami, and I think
so.
Okay, fair enough. That's
They beat Notre Dame in Florida.
I mean, that was like 2 years ago. Well, but okay.
It was the same team. I mean, it's not like there's any dramatic changes in the. I think Miami, they beat South Florida, another team that was one of the best teams in the. I'm just telling you that I think when you're going up against Arkansas, South Carolina, like LeBron meme, like you beat up on Mississippi State, Arkansas, South Carolina. I think South Florida is better than those teams. And like when they played Florida, they weren't all banged up and quit yet, and their coach hadn't been fired. So I think Miami had a comparable strength of schedule to Texas A&M.
And they probably should have lost to South Carolina too. So there's that as well. Danny Brasco, you had something?
Yeah, I wanted to address some of the comments in the chat about DeAndre Swift's groin injury that were fair for them to point out. He showed up on the injury report, I believe on Tuesday, with a little nagging groin issue. But he's had a questionable tag week in and week out throughout the season, and he's always showed up and gotten his workload. I think he's going to be okay because he logged limited practices on Wednesday and Thursday. If he didn't practice on one of those games, then I'd be worried. Some of the reports are saying he's going to be a game time decision up until 90 minutes before. So there might be some concern, but this line is up to 54.5. So the market isn't going down based on that news. So I'd say that. And if you're concerned, maybe look at a play on Monangai live or Monangai touchdown as well. Because one of those running backs is going to go over their rush yards if Swift is in fact limited, but I still felt confident in the play. I just wanted to say that. I think I'll be good to go.
Chip, Jay Long wants to know, how do you feel about the over in the Gasparilla Bowl of 56.5 at minus 105?
Yeah, that would be between NC State and Memphis. As long as we've got CJ Bailey in, I think I might roll with that. Memphis overs have always been there because Memphis's offense is a high octane and the defense has not been good. The issue here is that we've already seen NC State star running back Hollywood Smothers is going to be entering the portal. I don't know if he's going to play in this game. And I would just wait to make sure CJ Bailey trots out there. That is the starting quarterback for NC State. Awesome player, really, really good player. But the absence of CJ Bailey changes NC State's offensive ceiling dramatically. 56.5 might be a big number for a bowl game where Memphis doesn't have its head coach. Remember, Ryan Silverfield took the Arkansas job, and he's already left along with the offensive coordinator. Skeleton staff for the Tigers. So make sure that you've got NC State quarterback CJ Bailey out there. But in general, yeah, I think the over is the way that one goes.
Buckets, Big Rody wants to know, you might not have an answer to this question yet. He says, what's your favorite both teams to score for the day weekend? It has turned into one of his favorite bets, he says.
It is also one of my favorite bets, so I've always got something prepared. I have not one, not two, but three bets for you over the weekend for both teams to score, one in each of the three different major leagues that are playing this weekend. For the EPL, look at Aston Villa versus Man United. You're going to have to take both teams to score and over 2.5 in this game. It's going to get you around even money here. Man United have the highest BTTS hit rate in the entirety of the Premier League when playing on the road. It's hit in every away game except once, and Aston Villa has hit both teams to score in 6 of their last 7 across all competitions. Going to Italy, I'm so sorry, Chip. Fiorentina taking on Udinese, both teams to score. Right now, with how Fiorentina is playing, you don't bet on them to win, but you bet on both teams to score because they're playing like this scrappy FU team that has to find goals. Their defense, they're going to concede 2 or 3 every game, but they're actually kind of consistently scoring. They've now scored in 3 of their last 4. They're not winning, but they are scoring, and we're getting great BTTS numbers around -110. Because they're not great this season. Third and final bet, look at Real Sociedad taking on Levante. Both teams to score is -110. We've got a relegation scrap as Levante is dead last on the table, but is averaging more than 1 goal scored per game against their defense. That's the problem. And Real Sociedad, highest BTTS hit rate in all of La Liga, hitting at 78%. There's 3 for you there, Big Roadie.
That was amazing. Good stuff as usual from Buckets. Buckets, are you warm? Are you okay?
I'm actually really cold. I'm having a bad go of it today.
Anthony Simons, Big Roddy also wants to know, Anthony Simons over 10.5 points. Buckets, instead of you, I'll go to Mikey B on this one.
I appreciate that because Buckets has been so much better than me picking basketball.
I mean, I didn't want to say anything, but
I appreciate the airtime. I need the money for Christmas presents for my children. I would not touch anything for Anthony Simons because Joe Mazzulla just doesn't seem to like him. So there's games where he might not play hardly at all. He's a chucker and that he's on the floor to shoot, but I'm not sure he's going to get enough minutes on a consistent basis. So I wouldn't touch any Anthony Simons lines.
God, I love that. I love when a coach hates a player.
Oh.
A player in the doghouse is so, and usually you only get like the color of it in basketball where you kind of have to use them and then he still gets the opportunities. Like a running back or a wide receiver gets in the doghouse, you don't see the field, right? Like, you got to use the bodies. It's
the
been a while.
Celtics just don't have a bench. And they still, Simon should be playing 25, 30 minutes a night. They don't have a bench. Jordan Walsh, the guy's a good defender. He's starting now. So it's like, and Anthony Simons is not getting consistent minutes. They'd probably love to trade him if someone would take that contract.
Well, when they acquired him, I thought he was going to have a pretty big role because, Tatum not being there. Yeah.
Sixth man of the year potential. He's a chucker. The guy can score.
See, we're seeing this all the time in college basketball because of the transfer portal and how fluid the rosters are. You're going out and you're just it's a year-to-year proposition. And a coach takes a player based on what he thinks you're going to be, and then you show up and he's like, oh, my God, this guy can't defend at all. I can't play him. Can't play.
Sia, can I give you one other thing, Sia? I saw in the chat. Mm-hmm. I like this. Someone asked about Jalen Johnson triple-double. Now, he missed it last night by 1 assist. So here we go. Look at this. Ben, he's not just a Bulls fan. He's awesome at being a producer as well. So Jalen Johnson has been racking up triple-doubles. He missed it by 1 assist last night, even with Trae Young back. Now, Young was out for a while, played limited minutes last night, second game of back-to-back set. I don't think he plays. If he plays, he's not playing more than 20 minutes. So I love it, and I don't think Victor Wembanyama plays for the Spurs. So all of a sudden you lost that interior defensive presence. Plus 386 for a Jalen Johnson triple-double. I like that.
All right. And Buckets, you had something to add as well.
I've got something for Mike here. I got 2 questions for you because in the chat they're saying, Buckets, are we fading the Heat tonight? I think that's a joke about me not having Heat. So, Mike, 2 things. Number 1, do we like Celtic -6.5 against Heat? And then my own personal question, because I think this name is awesome and I'm going to say it wrong. Do we like Neemias Keita first basket scorer at +900?
Yeah, I would not take him to score the first goal.
That would be impressive.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I would take Celtics and Heat, both teams to score.
Okay.
That's a
good one. That's a lot.
All right, we're heating up.
Yeah. That might be like +200 buckets. So check it out on your options. I would lean towards the Celtics covering simply because I think Tyler Hero is going to be out. I don't play first bucket scorers. That's too cheesy. I would rather play that Jalen Johnson triple-double.
Wait, you can bet both teams to score in the first 60 seconds of an NBA game is the line I'm seeing.
That might not hit.
Is that not it's +110, so is that not a common thing for both teams?
Put that money into a space heater.
Yeah.
Don't bet that.
Yeah, let's drive to the store.
Get a scarf, get some mittens, some earmuffs.
You sound, Mike, you sound exactly like my mom when I told her about this. She's like, well, do you own a coat? And I go, I bought one like a week ago. So yes, Mom, I do. Then she asked about the hat and the gloves and all the other unnecessary stuff that I don't have, but that's fine.
You should always have a backup space heater. At least one. always at least one bucket. So you can sit next to it, bare minimum, and put your hands on the heater.
So Mikey B, well, we got to get to my pick before we go too long here. Oh my God, there's buckets. It looks just like you. You said something about something being cheesy, Mikey B, and then Big Cheesy gets in the chat and he says something about wanting Jacoby Brissett over Tua, which I don't think is a comment that would ever be in controversy at this point. But it is a really good segue. SEGUE, by the way, buckets, because I don't think you took the time to look that up. It was something from the other day. I know. I don't like the spelling of it either, but that's how you spell it. That's my pick. Jacoby Brissett is my pick. I don't make these touchdown pass picks a ton, because there's obviously a lot of variance when it comes to how a team handles the goal line, red zone stuff. But Jacoby Brissett has just been on fire, and he gets an Atlanta Falcons team. By the way, this is the bet is, if for the audio listeners, over 1.5 touchdown passes at -118. They play at home versus Atlanta. I think the argument against Jacoby Brissett in general, like in a lot of DFS circles, go catch FFT DFS, by the way, with me, Mike, and Meg. The argument against Brissett is, well, he's been doing it in garbage time. And if it's not a garbage time script, what do we expect from Jacoby Brissett? Well, I'll tell you. The Atlanta Falcons have been really bad against the pass. Early in the year, we thought, hey, this is a pretty good pass defense. It's actually flipped, where their run defense has actually been pretty good and their pass defense has been pretty bad. Now you got Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals with a pretty bad running game. They just don't really run the ball. Bam Knight's now on IR, so Michael Carter's your starting running back with a little of maybe Amari DiMercato mixing in. They're not going to be able to run the ball. They never can, really, and they're not going to be able to run real well against Atlanta. That means more passes from Jacoby Brissett. So whether it's a garbage time game script or a neutral game script, I expect Jacoby Brissett to be slinging it against this Atlanta defense that can get exposed. We saw it on national TV last week, but they've been getting exposed in general as well. So give me Jacoby Brissett over 1.5 TD passes at -118. I believe BetMGM has this price, this best number, because I think it's like -125, -120 in some places. I honestly think this should be -135 to -140. I do think there's value on this play. So give me Brissett over 1.5 touchdown passes. We all agree, right, that Jacoby Brissett's better than Tua Tagovailoa. Chip.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Danny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at buckets. Look at buckets.
I like
hockey with it.
Yeah, good deal. I like the over in this game too. The Cardinals play at one of the fastest paces in the NFL. So, you're going to get your opportunities. Like you said, this Falcons secondary littered with great names, but Terrell has been getting beat. I've seen them get exposed. And then on the other side, the Cardinals are not going to be able to stop their rush attack. So I think they go back and forth trading scores, and you easily cash this.
So the other thing about this is we don't know if Marvin Harrison is going to play. Certainly if he plays, I think it makes this bet better. But if he doesn't play, that's okay too, because I think Trey McBride and Michael Wilson have proven that they've been able to handle things. Mike McClure in the chat says, buckets, I think you should probably the Heat money line tonight with the Flames money line tomorrow night in NHL. Buckets, I think you have to put that in.
I need to find, are there more sports teams named after fire or hot? I want to do like a parlay if I can find more.
Honestly, I had the Perth Scorchers in cricket last night in the Australian Big Bash League, and I'm pissed because I got a -105. They went to -2,500 live and lost. I woke up to I woke up to an L. They let a team, for those who know anything about cricket, they let a team chase down 257 runs. That's like dropping 45 points in an NFL game and losing 48-45. So, yeah.
Brasco, we're gonna close the show with this. We're getting to the recap screen, of course, but we're gonna close the show with this. Seeing the Rams lose yesterday, they might have lost their opportunity for a number 1 seed. We'll see. It looks like San Fran and Seattle control their own destiny when it comes to that. Are the Rams the best team in football? Do you expect them to win who's the Super Bowl winner? Is it the Rams? And I want everybody in the chat to put who they think is going to win the Super Bowl in the YouTube comments. And if you're listening to the audio version or listening to this show later, in the YouTube comments, put who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, or maybe even who's going to play in the Super Bowl, both teams, and who's going to win, however you want to play that. Danny Brasco, what's your play here? Because I actually was on HQ yesterday talking about an exacta with like the Rams and the Bills, the Rams and the Texans in that 20 to 25 to 1 range. Texans was like a sleeper. Like, sorry. I'm
going to give you a spicy one. Niners, Bills, Super Bowl. Bills win.
I don't hate it. Chip, do you got a prediction?
Yeah, I was just going to say that this is sometimes when we've got, like, for example, Houston Rockets with Akeem. Like, they were so good. They were so good. Michael leaves, and it's like, bang, bang, and you get your titles. And then they didn't get them again, right? But it was like that was seizing the opportunity. With the Chiefs out, with the Ravens struggling, buddy, it does look like this is Buffalo Bills need to go bang. Like they need to go bang right now. This is the time for them to do it. So I like that Bills Niners exacta because I do think that it is shaping up now that all the monsters are gone. If it comes down to like an AFC championship and it is the Texans or, whoever, like, you ain't been here before. You don't have these
Denver,
stars.
New England. Like, no.
No. I'm on Buffalo at this point.
Mikey B, I'm going to go to you, and then Buckets, you're going to give us the final answer on this one.
Yeah, I agree. If the Bills don't win it this year, they're not winning it. I mean, this is the perfect setup for them. They've got to do it this year.
Sox Nation says Bears, Bills. I mean, okay.
Beats Battlestar Galactica.
You could twist my arm, and Rams would be what I'd be afraid of. But I might say AFC over NFC. I don't know what those numbers are, like if the implied values line up and that it's a good bet. But I know that's a prop that you can take at different times.
Yeah. I would think the AFC would be like around even money. I don't think it would be something drastic. It'd be like plus 105 or plus 100. I'm just guessing. Buckets,
right.
who's playing in the Super Bowl?
Right now, NFC is minus 140. AFC is plus 115 on MGM. And I'm going to go with an AFC American Football Conference team and take the Patriots at plus 1,300.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I've got absolutely no reason why to take that besides an AFC team now.
Who's their starting quarterback, Buckets?
Well, Brady retired, so we know it's not him.
So Brady's first Patriots Super Bowl win was against the Rams. Brady's last Patriots Super Bowl win was against the Rams. Could Drake May's first Super Bowl win be against the Rams?
Oh, that is a really nice ride down Narrative Street. Buckets, good job.
Why when I Google Patriots QB, it says either Drake May, Joshua Dobbs, or Tommy DeVito? Why don't they just give you one?
Those are all of the quarterbacks. Yeah, he just gave you the depth chart.
I don't think anybody.
Where's Joshua Dobbs rank on the quarterbacks list?
I didn't know DeVito had a job. Third stringer.
I didn't either. I got to admit, I'm embarrassed. I didn't know Tommy DeVito was on a roster right now. Close us out, Brasco. What did you?
I gotta mention tonight. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. We just got to touch on it before we go. I refuse to let the show end. Everyone's saying Joshua's going to kill Paul, right? All logic would say a former heavyweight championship boxer is going to, take away the YouTuber's run right here. Yet the over 2.5 rounds is minus 145. They got to put on a show. The skeptic in me says they got to put on a show. I like the over. I think it goes a little longer than people expect, however it goes.
What? Gotta keep them watching.
Everyone's waiting for the round one knockout. Everyone tunes in to watch Jake Paul get knocked out, and then
we can dance.
They're mad.
I got 45 seconds of dancing. Let's go.
Patrick Hillier says, read the tarot cards. Carolina is going to the Super Bowl. There is some conspiracy theory about Carolina. I saw it like a month or two ago about how, because J-Lo, it has to do with Jennifer, J-Lo and her divorces.
It's J-Lo and Ohio State winning. It's Ohio State wins the national championship. J-Lo has marital issues, and there's like a third leg of it. And it works for the 2003 Super Bowl run that ends in the Patriots. It works for the 2015 Super Bowl run that ends in the Broncos because they've come after the 2002 Ohio State National Championship and last year's Ohio State National Championship with J-Lo marital adjustments or updates in both of those.
We need to do a whole show on sports conspiracy theories because they're amazing.
Like
all right, let's
Jahmyr Gibbs waxing Gibbous moon phases. Bet him in a waxing Gibbous moon phase. He's a lot.
Well, let's get to the recap screen
because we have a podcast of science. Just so proud to be a part of this.
Buckets. What was it? The hollow moon theory? Was that Buckets that introduced that to the show?
Oh, I'm out on hollow moon. We've discussed this.
Yeah. Put your favorite sports conspiracy theory in the YouTube comments as well, along with your Super Bowl winner. Jacoby Brissett over 1.5 touchdown passes on Sunday, minus 118. Bologna versus Inter over 1.5 team total, minus 125. Of course, that's from Buckets. Danny Brasco, DeAndre Swift over 52.5 rushing yards, minus 112. He also likes Jackson Dart over 30.5 rushing yards at minus 110. Don't forget, DeAndre Swift. There's 2 NFL games on Saturday. Speaking of Friday and Saturday, Alabama tonight, first half plus a half, says Chip Patterson. And on Saturday, Miami, team total over 22.5. I encourage everybody to listen to the college football playoff picks show up on SportsLine for the last couple of days. We've got Mikey B on Tyrese Maxey over 26.5 points at -122, and Dylan Harper over 14.5 points at -114. We go to SportsLine picks. Carolina Hurricanes money line -122 says Todd Furman, and Bruce Marshall is on UC Irvine -1.5 at -105. And don't forget, we're 15 minutes from now, we have Western Michigan, and we talked about that game a lot at the beginning of the show. So if you like the under that Chip talked about, or some of the people in the chat talked about, or if you like Western Michigan, which is what I talked about, that game starts in 15 minutes. And listen, my two leans yesterday hit. So sorry to everybody for not making those official picks, but maybe this lean will hit as well. Maybe I know some people are going to be betting on this game because it's at 11. Buckets, you have something to say.
I do?
It looked like it. Looked like you had something to say.
Oh, I just have to go to the bathroom real bad, Sia.
Oh, that's the other piece. It's that the Panthers have week 1 game against the Jags in all those seasons.
And Buckets reminded you of that from his last comment? How does that what's the connection?
Go to the bathroom game.
Patrick
Panthers starts with P.
Oh, Patrick mentioned it. Okay. That
Yeah,
makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, Patrick mentioned it. That's the trifecta. It's Ohio State wins the national championship. J-Lo has a Myrtle update, and the Panthers start the season against the Jags. In that season, they make the Super Bowl and lose.
Who figures this stuff out?
We have to let Buckets go potty.
Well, I'm stalling just so he has to, just kind of sit there for a couple of more minutes. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today on Big Pick Energy Friday on the Early Edge. Make sure you subscribe to the SportsLine YouTube channel. We got to bounce back, hopefully, with a Monday recap stream. But I think we loaded this show, not just with official picks, but with a lot of conversation that I continue to stall with because, frankly, I don't want Buckets to have to leave his chair right now. On behalf of Buckets, Mikey B, Danny Brasco, Chip Patterson, the Nutcracker, Ben on the 1s and 2s, 3s and 4s, Jen, Jason, Thomas, Mr. Big, Ryan, so many of you, M3 Baller, Adam, so many of you in the chat. Appreciate you being here every single day. Buckets, any last words here?
Sie kennen das Gesetz, abonnieren Sie. You know the law, subscribe. I'm out!
We rest our case.